Hello, are you ready to start? Okay, so welcome to Belgrade, Ruse and Timișoara. Today we will hear the lecture from Alexandru Strunga about old and young between tradition and modern spirit. And after the lecture, we will have a short discussion on each location, and then we will make an exchange about the arguments and come together with a discussion via online. Okay, so I invite Alex to start with the lecture, and I pass the word to Timișoara. Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Alex Strunga. I'm from the Popular University of Timișoara, and I will like to discuss with you about the following theme: old and young between tradition and modern spirit.
Gotcha.
But first of all, I would like to say something about the Popular University of Timișoara. The Popular University of Timișoara was founded in 1968 and permanently had educational activities with students of all ages, young, adults and seniors, but mainly financed by Mayorship of Timișoara. It mainly organizes certified courses for foreign languages, French and English, artistic education, popular music, for example, dance and literature, and psychology pedagogy, when it is the case, with experts from other partner universities. PAUT, Popular University of Timișoara, this is the acronym, has a staff of 16 professors with pedagogical experience in education of adults. Our university has also a strong partnership with the Mayorship of Timișoara and the Romanian Institute for Adult Education, West University of Timișoara, Culture House of Timișoara, and other NGOs like Constantin Brâncuș Association, Romanian League of Writers, Timișoara Banat Branch. Okay, so I will start the lecture now with the presentation of demographical challenge. Whether the education for seniors is a well-developed research area or not, the importance of studying the education of seniors has compelling arguments. First, let's take into account the aging process of European population and its ramification in economy, technology, and education. In this image, you have the Europop convergence scenario by Eurostat, which shows a rapid growth of the seniors age group. The same report shows that the old age dependency ratio is growing proportionally. This demographic phenomenon, also mentioned in the previous lecture, suggests that in the next decades we can expect a massive change in the European education as well. Education for seniors will be the next important challenge, we think, in the adult education, and there will be a great demand for specialists working in this field. However, the weight of the seniors' education, the importance of the seniors' education and intergenerational education in the field of lifelong learning is also influenced by the social representations and mental images that seniors and youngsters have about themselves and about each other. Okay. We could identify 4 instances of such images. For example, how the seniors view themselves, how they perceive the advantages, disadvantages, and challenges of being a senior, or how youngsters view themselves, how they perceive the advantages, disadvantages, and challenges of being young, how seniors view the youngsters, and how young people view seniors. It is this mental image, which is partially shared by other people from our communities, that influences our activities, interactions, and thoughts, like an invisible, almost magical force. If we don't view ourselves as valuable members of the society, how can other people perceive us so? In many states, it is necessary that these mental images that sometimes are unfavorable to seniors, it is necessary that for them to be replaced by new ones, more open and flexible with the principle of cooperation between generations. If the mental image changes by reaching a critical mass, it can operate concrete political actions with the aim of supporting intergenerational cooperation. According to a study made by Vahelke and Contarello from very recent times, considering differences between age groups, the elderly tend to mention more concrete and positive elements on their representations in comparison with the young, at least in some Italian and Brazilian contexts. Young people usually share a clearly two-dimensional representation in which wisdom is one of the most salient elements, but is followed by a majority of negative elements like death, decline, and illness. Middle-aged adults tend to share the representation contents with younger ones to a large extent, but as people get older and closer to old age, their representations seem to shift from abstract to more concrete contexts. For example, you have in this image the common points and the different points between two groups, between the young people group and the mature people group. And you can see that the central elements of the representation for the young people are general decline and family. And for the mature group, the central elements of the social representation are also general decline and family, but also social exclusion, and death. So these are the common elements between these groups and also the different points. In Romania, there is a very similar situation. In Romania, hasn't been realized to date a study like this one concerning the social representation of aging. However, the main social values of the mature people seem to be the same as in the study of Vahelke and Contarello. General decline, health problems, but also very poor economic situation, very low pension and social exclusion. I would like also to address the dynamics of tradition versus modern spirit, this is defined by other factors as well. For example, ideological and political dimensions, communism versus democracy. And here it was observed the very strong interest of Romanian citizens for being a part of European Union. And I know that this is the same situation as well in Bulgaria. Other factors that are defining this conflict between tradition and modern spirit are also technologies and new media. For example, the emergence of internet and computers versus TV, radio, and books, which are more traditional means of communication, mass communication, of course. Also religion, the orthodox traditionalism in Romania versus the scientific method, for example. We must also mention that the neo-Protestant denominations were allowed to register only after 1989 here in Romania. Geographical and demographical differences, for example, the rural population becomes even lower. The great cities attract the young people, and in the small cities are living mostly seniors and women. Also, economical factors from agriculture and industry to services and automated production. The conflicts between old and young are centered, at least in Romania, on the difference of mentality. For example, different social representation about aging, and on economic issues. Some jobs are held by seniors who are not retiring, for example, and young people can't advance in their career in many state institutions. So, where is the education in this problem. What is the role of education? In order to respond to these challenges, we first must recognize that education is the point of convergence between tradition and modern spirit, old and young. We can do this by analyzing the consequences in the education and analyzing also the main characteristics, the main traits of this new paradigm of education, which will include intergenerational dimension as well as others, as we will see. So, first, it is now obvious that we are witnessing a change of the way in which we think about education, from an education segregated on age criteria to an education for all ages that takes into account the very important aspect of intergenerational learning. Seniors are a special group that is important for Europe. They are the most skilled and experienced European citizens, and they are an invaluable treasure for young people and for the future of European education. They are also the most important resource Europe has in the competition with the economies of other states from other continents, China, India, Brazil, and so on. Thus, the future of Europe is related to the way we make education for seniors. One method successfully used in Romania is cenaclul, an activity where seniors and young people jointly participate to create poetry, literature, music, learning from one another. Cenaclul is used by the League of Romanian Writers, Timișoara Banat branch, and also by Constantin Brâncuși Association between other NGOs, but I will present more details about cenaclul later. Okay. Well, the second trait of this new paradigm is the importance of the universities, actually the new role of the universities. They are not only the knowledge engines of the European higher education area and European research area, but also they can be powerful incubators for an authentic education for seniors. Universities have several very important advantages. They have both the human and material resources in order to develop education programs for seniors. Also, on the third hand, the role of internet and the new media is particularly important because for the first time in the history of mankind, all the people can communicate from all over the world. People can access invaluable, complete, and rich information concerning all the possible and imaginable issues. Even more, it links people from all over the world in virtual communities, organized by affiliation to a common interest. These communities can enhance the existing collaboration from the Danube region. Smartphones, tablets, and other post-PC devices are changing the way we think of education, as well because they have entertainment, communication, but also educational functions. Seniors can learn from the young people how to use these devices, and in turn, youngsters can learn and benefit from the experience and expertise of seniors. Fourth, a very important aspect of European collaboration is the Europe of regions, and in this case, in our particular project, DALEC2, the Danube region. Regional networking is extremely important because it connects people and institutions, taking into account something that is their common interest, and it is beyond the borders of an individual state. Regional networking values, thus, as much as possible, the development can contribute to the development of an authentic European identity. So, in conclusion, we have also participated with ZAWiW, and we want to thank them on this occasion to these projects, DANET, DASUN, DALEC, Danube Stories, Personal Town Tours, Danube Networkers and Tour, which in our opinion are very important for the development of European identity, education of seniors, and this regional networking we are talking about. So, in conclusion, there is a change of paradigm because we have a different model of education, intergenerational education, a different model of cooperation, regional networking in a European context, and also a different role of the university as the platform for these new projects, which are very often university-based, and a different communication infrastructure, which are new medias, as a bridge between Danube nations and people. So we can easily imagine a new paradigm of education in which seniors and young people collaborate and learn from each other, as it is the case in this image. And also I promised that I will tell you more about Cenaclul as an intergenerational activity in Romania. You have here a picture from our activities. Well, there are a lot of seniors here and young people as well who are collaborating first in the field of artistic and literary creation. They have workshops and they recite poems, they sing, and also they dance when it is the case. And this is a very powerful influence for young people because they learn from other adults which are more experienced and skilled in this field. Here is another image from our activities in which a senior woman recites several poems to the other members of the Cenaclul. And in the end, I'd like to address a question for all of you. And this question is, what models of intergenerational education are being used in your country? Please think about this, and I think after 5 or 10 minutes or so, we can discuss the ideas.
Okay, now we finished the translation time, and we will discuss on each location your question, Alex, about what models of intergenerational education are being used in your country. And I think intergenerational education is a good example for new forms of learning between the tradition and the modernity. And so now we have around 5-6 minutes time to discuss on each location, and we will back in 6 minutes now. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we will start with the discussion, and the first discussion will come from Ulm. First I will ask our young participants what for their experience with old and young projects.
Okay, we ourselves hadn't much we ourselves hadn't had much experience with projects with seniors, but last week we met at our school with a group of seniors, and we had a discussion, and we also talked about possible projects that could be done in the future, and we discussed that there could be computer lessons done by youngers for maybe seniors, or science camps that could be also done by seniors for the youngers, which could be taught, or also where the olders could participate to learn something.
Yeah, thank you. Though this was the discussion part from the younger and from the older ones. Yeah, we have a the Dolmetscher will report.
Okay. So we have an older lady here. She's told me that for 5 years she's been taking part in the so-called third generation university here at Ulm University. And within this context, she takes part in science camps where children come to the university. They are 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th graders. They come for 1 entire week. They stay from the morning in 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the evening. And they have projects, workshops, where they learn about nature, technology, chemistry, robotics, informatics, and so on. And these seniors are not the experts here. The experts are students who become teachers or professors or other experts. And the old and young people learn together. And they are accompanied by other students from the university who sometimes play with the kids in the breaks or implement other activities. Of course, this is also hard, but it's a lot of fun. It's hard because it's from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, and then afterwards they also reflect on what they have done during the day. And the children come in small groups. They are 6 to 8 children each time.
Okay, this were the experience from Germany. And now I will pass the word to Romania. How are your experience with old and young projects?
Hello again. We gather at Cenaclul, our group, and we have workshops about painting, popular dances, reading poems, music, dances, literature, and other things.
And also, I will give the word to a senior member of our association to tell us something about their view about intergenerational education activities.
We
A
didn't
very
hear
important experience for us seniors is Cenaclu activity. We seniors, yes, over 60 years old, and even after 80 years old, we are very glad to meet young people and to encourage them but usually they teach us more things than we can teach them. We have learned to use the computer. We have learned English. And we also publish English and Romanian books with young people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much from Timișoara, and now I pass the word to Ruse. Emily, how are your experience with the old and young projects?
Hello.
Hello.
I would like to share some good practices in terms of intergenerational education or young people and seniors working together. There are different clubs around in the different villages in Bulgaria. For example, a cooking club where 3 generations are participating. There is one family-run club, a musical club, where all the members of the family, from the youngest to the oldest, are playing different instruments. There is a festival of the mushroom. It's so-called Festival of the Mushroom, where young people and seniors cook together. It's a cooking club, and they have to present a meal, of course, cooked from a mushroom. And there's actually a competition where young people compete seniors. There are different sports clubs run in the different villages and towns where young people and seniors do different sports activities together. There are lots of singing clubs. But in our university, the University of Ruse in particular, there are groups of students who work along seniors, teaching them key computer skills, and also how to use the internet, how to make PowerPoint presentations, and how to use, in general, the new modern technologies in everyday situations. Emily is saying that there is also a theatre club in our town where young people, along with seniors, set different plays and they play as actors. So it's a theatre club run for all different generations. Thank you.
Thank you. Translation time. Okay, then I will pass the word to Belgrade. Belgrade, your experience.
Okay, thank you. Will be a bit longer again, so I'm sorry, because we've had a very lively discussion once again. So we've had around, I think, maybe 8 items, which we would like simply to mention. So I'll start. First of all, we had an opinion that we've had a sort of a disagreement here with Alex in Romania from one of our senior citizens who believes that the education of older people should be less important than, let's say, finding employment for younger people who are already educated, because it was said that we believe that they are the bigger resource of a country, and that it is maybe the fault of the seniors that they have not created such conditions for younger people who are educated to find employment today. There was also an issue mentioned here in Serbia where we have a situation that we have like 1.2 million people who are older than 65, and also 35% of our population is illiterate to some extent. So this is really a serious problem, and this can create like difficulties in the organization of a possible intergeneration education. The third thing that we talked about, this will now be some examples of good practice. This is about that we had a project which was called Talking with or About Neighbors, and this was a project about cultural history, for example, of Hungarian and Romanian people living in Vojvodina here in Serbia, and about their experience in the 1940s. So this research was done by the students of secondary schools, so this was a way for them to learn something about the past. This was like learning from the past from the people who actually lived in a certain period, also from the, let's say, 1940s to the 1960s, about the communist regime. So this was like literally oral history, a good exercise and benefit for both the younger ones and the older ones. The fourth item that we mentioned is that in one municipality here in the center of Belgrade, we have cross-generational workshops where there is an entire set of educational and creative workshops which are taking place, such as artistic one, sports one, psychological one, architectural one, learning how to sew, ecological competencies also. And it's interesting to point out that let's say persons of every age are participating here, so from 4 years to let's say over 80. Different kinds of exhibitions also follow this type of work, this type of workshops. These are daily centers, yes. An interesting example here in Serbia are also the cultural let's say, institutions. And this is, let's say, for the promotion of folklore and for national music, national dancing. And usually here we have participants who are both older and younger. So this is a good way to combine dancing and to make the old and the young spend time together. Also mountaineering, like hiking in the nature, hiking in the mountains. This is also a good way to put the old and the young together. We had a proposal here, just like you mentioned already, from one of the municipalities here in the center of Belgrade, to organize some sort of workshops for senior citizens to use computers, to go to the internet, because this would be very useful for them, since a lot of people from Serbia live abroad, and basically in this way they could be able to communicate with them if they could just learn how to use Skype, which would be like very simple. Yeah, we'll call them like cross-generation camps. This could also be organized here. This was a proposal. Also, we mentioned some other examples of good practice that we had here. We had these so-called academic days with, in which 4 different countries participated. We also had the academic week. This is now, this DALEC lectures, this is like a third recent activity of the combination of the young and the old. And also we've talked about the significance of the Belgrade University and of the, let's say, Faculty of Philosophy and the Department for Adult Education, because it can be like a center really for successful continuation of such types of cooperation between the old and the young. And this is a way how we can decrease these differences which exist between the old and the young. So the final thing that we would like to say is that these pensioners or retired people associations exist, and that they have folklore, that they have dancing, and that they also have this so-called Third Age Olympics, in which they prepare for different sports, and those who are preparing them are actually students who are coming from the Faculty for Physical Education. So, but often here in Serbia, as we concluded, the problem is that there is no financial support for, let's say, a university for people of the third age. So we are somehow lacking the support from the country. So basically that's it from us. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. And now translation time. So thank you very much. Yeah, this translation take a lot of time, but now I will pass the word for a conclusion, to Timisoara, to Alex. Alex, could you say something about the essence of our discussion about the different intergenerational projects? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Marcus. First of all, I want to thank you all for contributions. And I want also to address the observation from Belgrade regarding the lecture, more especially regarding the conflict between young and old people. I only said that this is a problem for Romania because there are some state institutions where there are a lot of senior people who are not retiring in time. For example, they want to be hired, until 90 years old or so. And they block the young people who want to advance in their careers. But this is not a problem for all the state institutions, especially for universities, public universities. And of course, I do not want to generalize to other states like Bulgaria or Serbia. And as a conclusion, I want to say that from all these ideas, I think that intergenerational education is the future of education, and this can be done especially at the European and regional level. Also, I want to say that this project coordinated by University of Ulm and ZAWiW opened the door for the materialization of this new paradigm. Danet, Dasun, DALEC first and second, Danube stories and personal town tours, in which we participated was an invaluable experience in how to enrich this emerging field and how to improve the collaboration between generations. Also, these projects and others on the same topic could offer the possibility of developing the Danube Association for collaboration in the field of intergenerational and seniors education. I know that we have discussed about that in Ulm with Carmen Stadelhofer and the other partners from the project. Also, with this opportunity, I want to thank to Sabine Meigel, to Zita, to Carmen Stadelhofer and Gabriela Körting, and also maybe especially to Marcus for moderating and for his input in this project and for making this possible. So thank you Donaubüros, thank you University of Ulm and ZAWiW, and we hope to collaborate with you again in many projects and with Ruse and Belgrade as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alex. Yeah, this was the last lecture in the context of DALEC2. We want to continue our cooperation, but we will also prove if this is the right form for a cooperation. It is interesting enough, and that's why we ask you to support the evaluation and to give us feedback that we can make it better in the next project. And last, I want to thank our sponsor, the ZAWiWs Foundation, and the coordinator, the Danube office and specialist CETA, which will coordinate the project, and of course all the technicians who will realize this online lectures. And thank you very much for all the participants. And yeah, I hope we will see us again, maybe by the next online lecture or face-to-face in in a location along the Danube. Thank you very much and bye-bye.